Hey everyone, and welcome back to our second Top Stories video. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that we have a poll up in the Awake and Aware New Zealand Facebook group asking for your suggestions on content. Make sure you go and leave us your thoughts so that we can tailor the channel to the content that you guys are most excited about. In today's video, we have the top 3 stories for May 2016, so let's get into it. The first post we have is about whether children should learn to grow food as part of their schooling. The overwhelming response was, of course they should. Horticulture was an option when I was at high school, but I believe it should be a core subject or included in existing food technology classes. Teaching the importance of self-sufficiency is something that's sorely lacking in modern education. Luckily, schools and parents are beginning to recognise this problem and taking action in their local communities. If you have always wanted to grow your own food, then do it now. It's good for your health, mind and spirit. It is literally a grounding experience. I'll drop a link below to a charity called Garden to Table that is promoting food education in New Zealand. If you know any others, then leave them in the comments section. I'll also put a link to a TEDx video by Laurie Breck called Growing Minds by Growing School Gardens, which is definitely worth a watch. Our next post is about tiny homes, in this case an arched cabin for under $1,000. Ideal for providing housing for the homeless, these inexpensive buildings could easily be provided to accommodate New Zealand's homeless population. However, the real question is why New Zealand has a homeless population to begin with. The consistent running down of social housing and selling of the properties to private developers has ensured that gentrification is thrust ahead of need. It's truly sad to hear how many people are suffering in New Zealand. Families are living in cars because rents are too high and demand for housing far outweighs the supply of affordable homes. Our third story is a fascinating question. If government disappeared overnight, how prepared are we to run things ourselves? Do we have the resilience and reason to create communities that pool their resources for survival? I would hope so. We're all born self-governing, and while many people might claim that we need rules to survive, it is not a lack of rules that would stop us, but rather irrational beliefs and a lack of social responsibility that would be our weakness. Transitioning to a truly free anarchist society overnight would be a dangerous time for humanity. So let's move on to the most liked post, which turns out to be the same as the first story in our video. It's great to see people getting behind this idea. Lastly, the most shared post for May 2016. Fluoride officially classified as a neurotoxin in world's most prestigious medical journal. Fluoride has been a hot issue in New Zealand the last few years, and many communities and councils have clashed over the use of fluoride in their water supply. This form of mass medication, predicated on the think of the children mantra, is a great example of government using misleading science to confuse and engineer public opinion. Thankfully, there are many hard-working advocates still fighting this fraud. As with anything deemed mandatory by government, there are serious questions about the efficacy and long-term health effects of such a program. So that wraps up this episode of Top Stories. I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these topics, and I invite you to follow the links in the description and read more about each of them. Top Stories will be back next month with a recap for June 2016. If you found this video interesting, then drop a like, and if you are new, hit the subscribe button. Next week we have a new show, so stay tuned, and I'll see you next time. Peace.